young guy.
Yeah.
80.
Yeah.
And I'll go check my dad's out. Maybe
Yeah.
they died. And then get out there and they all died young.
Or are they
Yeah.
out there?
Yeah.
Other
Yeah.
towns?
Yeah.
And now I'm 75. I'm old.
One of those is on concrete.
Oh, really?
I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't know if he wants to win or well, you're doing good for 83 years.
Start
I'll
out.
tell you that.
Yeah, start off.
I can't learn that stuff.
Nobody listens to him.
I've done a lot of stuff.
That one these days. Try to take it by
Yes,
yes.
I guess it works.
Strong triples of vitamin D,
There you go.
vitamin
It's
B,
pretty got good B
vitamin B12,
Stuff you
vitamin
can drive on.
B6, vitamin
Yeah.
D is great.
Well, you know, vitamin E is
Yeah,
good
it's
for
good.
inflammation.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
knees and
I
your
like
joints.
that.
That's the best one to take.
That's interesting. Yeah, me too.
Sarah, good to see you. Dan, nice to see you.
It's good to be
Blood
seen.
matter, whatever it is.
Yeah.
I opened my eyes.
7 o'clock, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Barlow,
Yes.
Bowers, Brem,
Here.
Jarvis, Nesbit,
Here.
Rezegi,
Here.
Stenzelbarton,
Here.
Tassava.
Here. Entertain a motion to excuse council members Bowers, Jarvis, and McLean.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Support. Motion by Stenzelbarton, supported by Rezegi. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Please rise for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. A few people out there. Everybody get a chance to look at the agenda. Any additions or corrections to the agenda? I hear a motion to approve as presented.
Make that motion.
Support.
Motion by Brem, supported by Nesbit, to approve the agenda as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Approval of the minutes of the November 12th, 2024 regular meeting. Everybody get a chance to look at those. Any issues, any corrections? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
I will second that.
Okay, motion by Rezegi, supported by Stenzelbarton, to approve the minutes of the November 12th, 2024 regular meeting. Any discussion? Roll call.
Brem,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Stenzelbarton,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Public hearing, we have none. Public comment, anybody at this time would like to get up and talk? I'll give you 3 minutes. Tell me who you are and if you're a resident.
Good evening. My name is Sarah Lovell. My address is 302 East Colfax Street here in Hastings. I live there with my husband, our 3 children, Braden, who is 10, Nora, who is 7, Addie, who is 4, and our dog, Rad. On October 20th of this year, around 12:30 in the afternoon, my son Braden found that a fire had started in our detached garage where we lived at the southeast corner of Boltwood and East Colfax. After helping our children and our dog out of the house safely, we called 911. The fire department very quickly sent a tanker, and for the next 6 minutes, they worked hard to contain the fire to the garage and prevent additional damage to our home and the homes of our neighbors. They were unable to maintain control, however, largely due to a 5-minute delay in hydrant water access. Once their initial truck ran out of water, the hydrant nearest our home across the street at the northeast corner of Colfax and Boltwood was inaccessible and has been physically tagged as out of service since late last year. This caused the fire department to access another hydrant further away from our then burning home. This 5-minute delay meant the difference between having a garage fire and losing our home to fire, smoke, and water damage because of the quick spread once the tanker ran out of water. It also meant that my neighbors behind us had to get new siding and shingles. Losing our home has meant that we lived in a hotel for 2.5 weeks, my husband, myself, and our 3 kids in one room, while still trying to navigate normal life things like getting our kids to school every day and trying to work, while our dog was staying at a kennel. We are now in a rental home with nothing of our own, as all of our belongings are gone. While we are so lucky to have our family together, the fact that this could have ended so differently had that hydrant been in working order is what has led me here. After speaking with some members of the fire department, several neighboring fire departments, the water department, as well as a few people in close proximity to the city council, I am here to request an action plan. The hydrant is being physically tagged as out of service shows that it was a known issue long before this incident. I've spoken with Mr. Tate about the hydrant, whose response was it's on our radar. I have also filed a request using the Freedom of Information Act for a map of city hydrants, along with the maintenance records to show which hydrants are in working order. The response I received was a request for the maximum processing time, so I do not have that information for you like I had hoped to. I am not satisfied with this. I'm requesting that someone follow up with me to keep me informed on the plans to fix the out-of-service hydrants in our neighborhoods. One home is one too many to lose to an out-of-service hydrant. As a taxpaying member of our community, I'm begging that you please not allow this to happen to another person.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Your time's up. Anybody else like to get up and speak? Okay. Formal presentations and recognitions and presentations. Dave Hatfield has a County Planning Commission meeting here tonight, so he's not here. Presentation from Krista Wetzel, Outreach Specialist for Berry County Community Mental Health Authority. Want to go back there and address the council?
Yes, my name is Krista Wetzel, and I am the Outreach Specialist with Berry County Community Mental Health. And we as an agency were talking that this would probably be a good idea to go around to the different councils and townships in our area as we serve you. We have had some awesome changes for our county over the last year, and I want to do as best as I can in a short amount of time, explain some of those things. I'm going to read my notes so I don't get off track. I am a native to Hastings. I just recently returned, and I just love that I get to connect those that need our services at Berry County Mental Health to our services. There's a lot of things that hinder people from coming. Some of it's misconceptions, some of it's lack of information and knowledge, and I get to go out in our community and tell people about our services, which is an awesome privilege. This last October, we became, in 23 I should say, we became a certified community behavioral health clinic, and with that, that brought a lot of awesome changes to our community. With this certification, we can now provide integrated services that are joining addressing medical and behavioral health needs. Our care extends to all ages and is provided in a person-centered manner. Individuals, families, and youth have an empowered decision-making role in how their care is delivered. With this change, our mission has expanded to serve all individuals regardless of diagnosis, severity, residency, or insurance. We can proudly say that no one will be denied service with our agency. Berry County Community Mental Health accepts insurance and self-pay patients, in addition to Medicaid, Healthy Michigan, My Child, and works with everyone to assist in understanding that cost, services, eligibility, insurance referrals, and payment options. We do not want anyone to not receive the care that they need due to an inability to pay. We provide outreach, crisis care, case management, community-based services, psychiatric services with adult and pediatric medication management, outpatient therapy, and numerous other services. Our services now include care management, care coordination, primary care screenings, and more. awesome services such as adult peer support, youth peer support, and parent support. As of October 1, 2024, we are now a behavioral health urgent care. Our clinic is now open Monday and Friday from 8:30 to 5, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 8:30 to 6. As always, our crisis team is available 24/7. Those that are in need are encouraged to text 988 or call 866-266-4781. Please know that there is help available for all members of the community. Unfortunately, many have allowed negative stigmas to influence their decision to reach out for mental health help. In a small community such as Hastings, many have expressed that they are anxious that people will judge. This is an understandable concern, but I will say our staff operates on a strict level of confidentiality. And in my observations, there's nothing but complete empathy and care for everyone that walks through those doors. If people have had poor experiences, I encourage them to contact our office and ask to speak with someone regarding this. We are here to serve this community to the best of our ability, and if something needs improvement, we want to be aware of that. We all need to do what we can to change that stigma in our community. I personally have needed mental health, and I'm so grateful for those that serve in this field. I should say mental health help, as we all have mental health. I am emphatically glad to say that our office is a very unique office. I've heard some amazing things in comparison to other offices all across the state, and I really believe we have a top-notch agency in our county. I get to observe some of the most caring individuals that I've ever met in my life, and they do everything in their power to help the clients that we serve. It's been exciting to see these new services, and this is just a brief introduction to all of those changes. And if anyone has questions about our agency in general, they can check out our newly revised website at berrycountyrecovery.com. And thank you all to the council members and everyone for this time to share this information. I do have literature with me if anyone afterwards would like to grab some of those. So thank you.
Any questions while we have her
Yes,
here?
any questions?
Okay, thank you, Krista.
Yep.
Items for action by unanimous consent. Item A, consider approval of a letter of support for Berry County Chamber and Economic Development Alliance, Rural Readiness Grant application as presented. Everybody get a chance to read that request? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Support.
Okay, motion by Rezegi, supported by Nesbitt, to approve the letter of support for Berry County Chamber Economic Development Alliance for Rural Readiness Grant. That motion was made by Rezegi and supported by Nesbitt. Do I hear any questions? Roll call.
Nesbitt,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Stenzel Barton,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, in your packet you have a list of invoices totaling $223,939.57. Do I hear a motion to approve and place on file?
I'll make that motion, sir.
Motion by Barlow,
Support.
supported by Brem. Motion by Barlow, supported by Brem to accept and place on file 6 invoices totaling $223,939.57. And those are MCSA Group $6,422.50, Usalco, that's Liquid Allen for the sewer plant, $6,448.03, KB Landscaping, $12,005, Caterberg Verhaeg, they're the ones that did streetscape, $27,996.50, Lugenhammer, Ford out of Owasso, $55,736 for a Ford pickup truck for the police department, and West Michigan International, $115,331.54 for a dump truck purchase 11/18/2024. So any further discussion? Roll call.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Stenzel Barton,
Yes.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Items of business. Consider approval of the purchase of a new U.S. cargo trailer in the amount of $10,824 from USA Trailer Sales of Wayland to be used at the police department. Do I hear a motion to
I'll
approve?
make that motion, Your Honor.
I'll support.
Motion by Rezegi, support by Nesbit,
You were gonna.
to approve the purchase of a new U.S. cargo trailer in the amount of $10,824 from USA Trailer Sales in Wayland. Discussion. Roll call.
Stenzel Barton,
No.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Item B, second reading and adoption of ordinance number 626 for the conditional rezoning of property located at 1220 West State Street from B2 General Business District to D2 Industrial District. This is the second reading. I hope you all had a chance to look at it in the last 2 weeks. You want to tell us all about it, Dan? What we're doing here? Let me take a motion first. Do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion to approve that.
Okay, Stenzel Barton, supported by Rezegi. Okay, Dan.
Yes, so staff and the Planning Commission received a application for a conditional rezoning of property at 1220 West State Street in Hastings. The Michigan Planning and Zoning AMLA Act does allow planning commissions and city councils to enact conditional rezonings, and it's just that once an application is received for conditional rezoning, the applicant and the applicant only can recommend or suggest the conditions that will apply with the conditional rezoning. In this case, the property is currently located in the B2, the Business 2 General Business District, and the applicants requested a conditional rezoning to the D2, which is Industrial District classification. A little bit of history on this property. This property at one time was owned and operated by the Kensington family. They operated Hastings Reinforced Plastics out of that facility and then changed their name to Vitek. So at one time there was pollution control, manufacturing of ductwork and tanks being carried on in that facility. Since it's changed hands, it was the Habitat Restore for a while. It's currently under the ownership of Corwell Health Pennock. The applicant does have an offer pending on the property, subject to the conditional rezoning approval. And again, the conditions of the applicant has supplied for consideration for adoption of the ordinance is that all activities, manufacturing, warehousing, general office operations will be contained entirely to the inside of the building. They have also stated that there will not be any current or future footprint changes of the building, and there will be no outside storage of any material, any forklifts or inventory, anything of that nature. Everything will be contained inside the confines of the building, and the sale or the transfer of the property will become effective once conditional rezoning is approved at the council level. So that being said, we do have two representatives from the applicant here if you have any further or additional questions. Thank you.
Anybody got any questions of Dan while he's up there? Okay, so we have a motion by Stenzel Barton, supported by Rezegi, to adopt ordinance number 626 for conditional rezoning of property located at 1220 West State Street from B2 General Business District to D2 Industrial District. Any further comments? Roll call.
Barlow,
Yes.
Brem,
Yes.
Nesbit,
Yes.
Rezegi,
Yes.
Stenzel Barton,
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. Okay, staff presentations, policy discussion. We are going to have an upcoming vacancy in Third Ward. Everybody get a chance to read the city manager's commentary on this. Sarah, do you want to tell us what your idea is? What's the reasoning?
Sure. So Abby Taylor was elected as the Third Ward council member in the November election. However, she's since moved and no longer residing in that ward and is no longer eligible to take office. So that means that there will be a vacancy starting at the beginning of next year. So our policies and procedures provide for us to place a notice to the public soliciting applications for that position, and then for council to hold interviews to fill it. So given the holidays and also the interest of filling this as soon to the vacancy as we can to limit any sort of issues with having that vacancy, my recommendation is to prepare a notice for the newspaper to be printed Thursday, December 5th, and to accept letters of interest and applications through Friday, January 3rd, and then to hold a workshop meeting for the interviews prior to our regular meeting on Monday, January 13th, and then to appoint someone after deliberation at the regular meeting on that same day. Then they would take the oath of office the following regular council meeting, which is scheduled for Monday, January 27th.
Anybody have any questions?
Sounds good to me.
Would that be for a partial term or for the full term?
They would have to run again at the next general.
Okay.
So it'd be 2 years.
Good question.
Any other questions? So do I hear a motion to go with the city manager's recommendation?
I'll make that motion.
I'll support that motion.
Motion by Brem, supported by Rizigi. To advertise the vacancy, and what we're going to do, we'll advertise the vacancy in the newspapers Thursday, December 5th. Friday, January 3rd will be the deadline for letters of interest to the city clerk. Monday, January 13th at 6 o'clock, we'll have a workshop meeting for interviews. At 7 o'clock, we'll further deliberate and appoint. And this person, whoever it is, will be appointed at the January 27th meeting. They will take oath of office. So everybody understand? Okay? So we had the motion by Brem, supported by Rezegi. Any discussion? Roll call.
Barlow.
Yes.
Brem.
Yes.
Nesbit.
Yes.
Rezegi.
Yes.
Stenzel Barton.
Yes.
Tassava.
Yes. City manager report.
So a few things for you. I wanted to let you know that Blue Zones has purchased for us 10 of those vertical reflector delineators that were near the pedestrian island on Broadway, so that we have some backups for future years. So we appreciate their contribution towards that project. The city also was successful in receiving the community forestry grant through the Michigan DNR. We hope for that project to start in the spring. That includes inventorying all of our street trees and assessing their condition and other information about them that will help us with decision making regarding managing that asset in the future. You are likely also aware of the significant plumbing issues that happened at the library that are presently being mitigated. They anticipate opening sometime next week, no later than Friday, December 6th. They will still be having the holiday vendor show for Jingle and Mingle. They hope to be open a few days before that, but it just depends on how certain things go. But things are drying out over there, and contractors are going to start putting it all back together here in the next few days. And that's all, unless somebody has any questions for me.
Any questions of the manager? Okay, also in your packet, and it's been a long time since we've heard from him, is Dale Boulder's monthly report, and I'm sure Dale wants to say something.
I want to say a lot. One thing I want to talk about, though, is had the board meeting out at Berry Central Dispatch today. And unfortunately, sometimes I can't get these things on my normal report just due to when it's due. But I wanted to report to the council and to anyone out there listening to us. The towers, Middleville and Hastings towers, are up and running as of the 20th of November. Our fire chief's actually been helping out the director out there doing some testing and seen some positive results. So everything's not quite up to where it needs to be. Nashville's still operating on a temporary tower. So as soon as that the new tower's up and going out there, which is a state-funded tower, we'll see even better reception and transmission. But from what I've heard so far, it's been positive stuff, which, obviously with the tower being right in our backyard, I assumed as much, but, assumption is only that. But putting it to the test is, our officers, our fire chief and his manpower also, and it's showing some very good positive things. So that was a quick update on that. I also, wanted to let all of you know that I'm not sure what took place. There was some back and forth on social media, which is typical, in regards to the 2 to 6 a.m. parking. If any of your constituents call you to ask, 2 to 6 a.m. parking is in effect. We did hold off for 2 weeks due to the weather. Typically, we start November 1st issuing the key to the city warning citations. We actually pushed it another week by issuing those warning indicators. So we are live writing the parking citations. Obviously, none of us have a crystal ball. It's the state of Michigan. Who knows when it's going to snow, when it's not going to snow. And I know people love their streets to be clean, and they definitely rave about how good the DPS does in that. And part of that is keeping the streets clear, during that 2 to 6 a.m. parking time. So if they call and ask you, please let them know it is in effect. If they have questions, they can call and ask the PD. So other than that, just another shout out to my crew. Short-staffed a little bit, but I tell you what, they step up to the plate every time. So, and I'll put them up against anybody else any day of the week. So, any questions?
So, are we going to talk about the bearded wonders?
So, we can, yes, sir. So currently, you see myself and the mayor included and most of my guys with some facial hair. So this started 2 years ago. They came to me and asked if they could participate in the No Shave November. Now, I'm a military guy. I'm pretty much clean shaven all the time. I said, let's show me what you want to do. Tell me what you want to do. So they decided to donate to a charity of their choosing, $50 per person for the month. And that, like I said, started a couple years ago. This year, they've chosen to donate to Toys for Berry County Kids. And I believe every one of the officers, the male officers, have put $50 in. The deputy chief put $50 in. The mayor has put $50 in. And they've already approached me with wanting to go into December, which I did allow last year. And I look at it this way. It's going to go to somebody here in Berry County, whether it's a kid or whether it's a good cause. They've indicated to me they want to donate in December to the car seat fund. There's going to be some changes coming up next year for car seats. So, if they want to spend $50 of their own and donate it back to Berry County, the city of Hastings, you know what, I think I can allow that 1-inch beard. So there's where we're at.
Yeah.
So,
well, I just pretty proud of the police department doing that, and I just wanted to get that out there. So,
right.
Good deal.
No, and for
any
sure.
Questions?
And the females, they can participate. They've chosen to paint their nails. Typically, I have a restriction on neutral colors for their nails. so they're allowed to paint them a little bit not as neutral, I guess. So, you had a question,
Who
sir?
do we give our donation to?
Are you, well, I can take it, or you can give it to Ann.
I'll give it to you.
Okay, sir.
That it? Any questions of Dale?
Welcome back.
Yep,
Thank
good
you,
to see you
guys.
here, Dale.
Thank you.
Also in your packet, you have City Clerk Linda's financial report for the month. Anybody have any questions? Anything to add, Linda?
I do not.
Okay, item C, Community Development Director Dan King's monthly report. His monthly report's in your packet. You have anything to add, Dan?
Unless there's questions, I have nothing else to add.
Any questions of Dan? Okay, moving right along. Reports of communication in your packet. You have Library Director Hemmerling's official notice of retirement. And with that, I entertain a motion to accept item A and place on file.
I'll make that motion, sir.
Motion by Barlow,
Support.
support by Nesbitt, to accept the official notice of retirement from Peggy. And I think they're having a retirement thing the 10th of December for her at the library. Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same. Public comment. Geez, we just ran out of time.
Joel Ibbotson, Rutland Township. As many people know, I have a fairly healthy interpretation of the First Amendment, and one of my favorite stories regarding that came from October of 1798. A man named Luther Baldwin was indicted under the Sedition Act, and what led up to that event was he and his buddies, one being Clark Brown, were waiting for President Adams to come into town. He was traveling through there, and he had just signed into law the Alien Sedition Act. Well, anyway, Luther Baldwin and his buddies were not a big fan of the president, and so as they were sitting there at the bar drinking, waiting for him to show up to give him a 21-gun salute, well, President Adams was running a little bit late that day, and they'd tipped back a few too many, and by the time that Adams came to town, it took them forever to assemble the cannons, and by the time that President Adams had gotten by, it looked like they were shooting right at the president. When they fired the cannons off, Luther Baldwin said, well, I don't care if they shot him right through his fat ass, and he was arrested and imprisoned until he could pay a fine worth several years' worth of his salary. Well, President Jefferson came along, and he was quite upset with that, just fought a war on being able to criticize our leaders. Well, the First Amendment was pretty important to him. So anyway, that was used as a big part of Jefferson's campaign leading up to his being the third president. And so anyway, a long story short, after President Jefferson was elected, he had pardoned all the people that were charged with the Sedition Act and given them an apology. They were released from prison. So if it wasn't for some drunks at a bar, you probably wouldn't have a President Thomas Jefferson.
Thank you, Joel. Good to see you again. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to get up and talk? 3 minutes. Okay, Mayor and Council comment. First off, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you don't eat too much turkey. But, Bill, any comments?
That's nice.
Jordan?
No.
Terry?
Can't be what you said.
Norman?
I appreciate Krista's report on the mental health agency. Very good agency, and I think very important for our community. And thank you for updating us on what's going on. Thank you.
John?
I second that, but have a good Thanksgiving, and I want to remind everybody that before our next meeting, we're going to have the Jingle Mingle downtown. And it's one of the only times they let me light a fire downtown, so I expect, every one of you come down and join us.
Okay, if there's nothing else to come before council, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion, Your Honor.
Okay, motion by Sensenbarton, supported by Rezegi to adjourn. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. We're adjourned. Thanks for coming.
No.
problem.
Glad to go for a good cause.
Yeah, for sure.
Besides, I already got the beer.